some of the tenets of critical race theory have just been on the street for a while. It's been in kitchens, it's been in living rooms.
So what does it sound like when it's on the street?
You know, all white people are racist, which is racism is endemic. It's
Okay.
everywhere.
So this hasn't been in my kitchen.
No, it ain't.
But it was in.
Y'all wasn't slicing the turkey talking about.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Sorry.
But in your kitchen. All right.
In my kitchen.
Another point I want to have us explore here is, you know, people kind of calling out Jackie Hill Perry, Jasmine Holmes, Eric Mason, you know, saying, you know, putting them on blast, putting them on Twitter and saying, you're a critical race theory advocate. And then they say things like, I had never even heard of critical race theory until 2020. What are you talking about that I advocate for this? So help us make sense of, I'm going to take it at face value, their genuine confusion.
Yeah.
That was why people are calling them this.
I would say, and I've said this before, and I think I'll go first this time, that I think some of the tenets of critical race theory have just been on the street for a while. It's been in kitchens when people are sitting around, you know, the older women and men are sitting around talking. It's been in living rooms.
So what does it sound like when it's on the street?
You know, all white people are racist, which is racism is endemic. It's everywhere.
So this hasn't been in my kitchen.
No, it ain't. It wouldn't been around your table.
Okay.
Sorry.
But it was in.
Y'all wasn't slicing the turkey talking about.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Sorry.
But in your kitchen. All right.
In my kitchen.
So
so I think some of it has been there that, you know, we just need to do away with the structures that America upholds and kind of just start again. America's always been just such a racist nation. Those are just, I would say, some of the conversations that at least I heard. Kevin can, you know, tell us if he's heard that. But I think
so things like, it was just more noticeable to you, hey, there's a racist structure here, or the police can think they can beat us and beat Black people and nothing will
the conversation of whiteness not necessarily being associated with critical race theory, but looking more at W.E.B. Du Bois or even James Cone using whiteness, who definitely predate the formal, you know, critical race theory. So
that'll come up in the second clip.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that they get accused of it potentially because it's just been part of the conversation. And when then you speak and you just say the things that we've been saying, you know, from the secular point of view or I would say historically Christian point of view, it can sound a lot like that.
So there was kind of what was happening in academia in the development of critical race theory, but then there was this other thing happening kind of contemporaneously of words on the street, just the lingo and how there would be talk in the Black community.
Yeah,
and there was kind of some overlap in those ideas.
That would be my guess and my experience. What would you say, Kevin?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I just want to say too, that I have a lot of respect for Jackie Hill Perry and Jasmine. I used to be in a lot of different groups with Jasmine and having these conversations. And I found her in the past to be a very, level-headed voice in these conversations. She was not the critical race theorist person. She wasn't exactly where I was, but she was definitely more level-headed and willing to have the conversation with people who disagreed with her. So I just want to kind of paint that. But yeah, I do agree that there is or has been in the Black community some common things, like you said, Monique, of white people just racist, or America is just racist. And so when you think about, you know, one of the tenets of critical race theory, you know, racism is normal, you know, to America. It's like that is the norm. If some of those things sound the same as America itself is racist, you know, those, you call them kitchen conversations, I call them barbershop conversations. You know, I heard, you know, the older men, you know, sitting around talking while you're waiting to get your hair cut. You know, and there would be certain things that were believed about America in general that was just ideas espoused, you know, that would not have been from any kind of critical race theory. And the language was different. It wasn't, you know, like a term like white privilege would have never come up, you know, but the idea that being white there was some benefit to being white or not a benefit to being Black in certain times, that was a normal kind of discourse. And so when you take critical race theory the way it's framed today, you can see how some of that same thought process can be articulated without holding to the formal tenets of critical race theory.
Yeah, that's super helpful. And the formal tenets and all of that, we're going to continue that in the second clip. But I think this is very, very important for people to understand that when we hear these leaders in evangelicalism say, why are you accusing me of believing in critical race theory? I've never heard of it until 2020. Jackie Hill Perry kind of joking around and saying, like, apparently there was a meeting, and we were there. And is like, that we have to understand, like, that to take that at face value. That's probably true. They probably have never heard of it. So,
yeah. And I'll say this too. Not to cut you off, but I do want to say, because she is making a good point. And what she's talking about is a lot of these discernment blogs that are out there that are, calling people out and writing on people and accusing them of being critical race theorists and breaking out every word they say. Like, there are people who kind of have made a living off of witch hunting, right? And they found themselves in those circles. And so there is some sympathy to what she's saying, as I've just got hit with this label. I never heard of this thing. So I think that was valid.